The story goes, we kind of have different stories, but mine is the correct one.
Hers is not even. I wouldn't even say dramatic. Hers is just she's lying. Okay. So I'm just gonna. No. I'm gonna tell what really happened. I'm gonna tell what really happened.
I'll let him have it.
All right. So
I'll be down for you forever. We gon' always be together. Down for any kind of weather. We going higher than the ceiling. You and me is all I need, yeah. Keep on rocking to the beat,
All right, well, we're here.
We did it, guys.
We're doing it.
Been talking about it for a bit. We're ready. It's live, Fox 5. Let's do it.
All right, so for those who don't know, I'm Skyla.
I am Omar.
And this is the Snooks and Snookums Real Talk podcast. And you want to give them a rundown of kind of why we're doing this podcast?
Of course I do, because she don't really know how to explain some things. So main objective with the podcast is, talk about relationships, their various aspects, the various types of relationships. Of course, you have the couple, the marriage and stuff like that. You got people who are dating, even friendships, stuff with your parents, coworkers, et cetera, et cetera. And we're mainly going to talk about how to navigate those. Yeah, real life.
Keep it real.
Keep it real. How to navigate that, how to deal with things, compromise. Most important part.
Compromise.
We're going to talk about that in a second. We'll see what it is. And then, we're here.
So it's really just a space for us to be real and talk about like couples things, like he said, and the main part, like I said, is keep it real. Like we want to get real with you guys. So.
And in addition to that, the other main part here is also to, irregardless of how you interpret what we get ready to talk about and how you hear things and just anything else in life, if we don't cover the different things you might be going through, whatever you decide to do and deal with, make sure you're doing it for you and to make sure you're happy. At the end of the day, you're the one who has to deal with the consequences or get to celebrate the achievement. So make sure you're making a decision for you. Don't get coaxed into doing things. So we will be providing tips on how to deal with certain things, but if that's if it's not for you, it's not for you. But hey, at the end of the day, just make sure you make the right decision because that's all we can do in this life.
Yep. Yeah. All right, so to get started, we're going to talk about our story, how we met. Some of you guys, I'm sure, hey, friends.
Some of y'all was a part of it, so y'all remember this fondly.
Yeah. But we just kind of wanted to give some background on who we are and how we got together. So we've been together now 10 years.
10 years, man.
10 years.
Started in 20, I had the keychain. Actually, I left it in the car.
I made him a keychain.
Made me a keychain. We started in, what was that? That was 2013? That was 2013.
Count 2023 back. 2013. Duh.
Oh, yeah, minus 10.
We met in 2013, Morgan State. Shout out HBCU, Morgan State.
Yes, sir.
And the story goes, we kind of have different stories, but mine is the correct one.
Hers is not even, I wouldn't even say dramatic. Hers is just, she's lying. Okay. So I'm just going to, I'm going to tell what really happened.
I'll let him have it.
All right. So y'all know this is the real story. They say there's 3 sides to every story: your version, their version, and the truth. My version is the truth as well. So
I hear that.
Here's what happened. So it all started one day. We had a little turn. Well, I guess I'll tell y'all the pre-meet story.
That's why I'm going to start. See, this is what happens. Communication is key.
No, I'm just saying, just make sure you tell it right, because don't say nothing crazy, because
I will.
I want Brother Umar coming in here for what you're about to say, because I already know what you're about to say. So
basically, I went to Morgan with my best friend. Shout out to Neek. And I was kind of in my own little world. I met my other best friend, Cam. Hey, girl. And Neek was on the other side of campus. So if you've been to Morgan or Morgan or have friends in Morgan, there's the side with Harper Tubman. Is that where? Oh my God, it's been a long time. Sorry, guys.
You don't even know what's going
on. I lived
on
on one side of campus and Neek lived on the other side where Thurgood is. Okay, so if you know the school, then you know Thurgood is on the other side. And so she had a group of friends, and Omar was a part of those friends. And so she had told me about Omar, but when she told me about Omar,
y'all was talking about me.
Yes,
we'll talk about that after this.
So she had told me about Omar, but I didn't like him at first because of some of the things I heard, mainly about the types of girls he liked. Okay. I'm not going to get into it. But
I like what I like.
It.
You have a type too.
Okay.
So
I do have
do not.
but I'm all about.
Don't,
for the
do
people.
not. Look, I promise it's nothing crazy. It's just I grew up in Gaithersburg, so it's a lot of Spanish people out there. So a lot of the girls I dated was Spanish. That's what it was.
Side note, I love love. It's just when I feel that a man doesn't love black women, I get a little offended. That's something I'm working through. It's a personal thing, you know?
I'm proud of you. I love that for you.
Thank you. So anywho, so I was a little offended, so I didn't like him. And so I ran into him with Neek at the library. I kind of swerved him when he tried to hug me.
So already she missed a key point. She likes to tell other people about this, so now I'm gonna jump in.
Okay.
So as she said, well, with the whole thing, so it was a little mini turn up that night, and a lot of y'all know me. I was part of OLAS in high school, so and that is a team, a dance team. I'm not being racist, I promise. So I knew how to do a lot of the Spanish dances, salsa, merengue, bachata, all that, right? So we were at a little turn up one night, and there was this girl there, and I was dancing. I forgot what I was dancing with her too, but I was dancing that. So her and whoever else was on the couch, I could tell they had attitudes. They'll be okay. It'll be all right. I did what I had to do that night. And then we move into the story that she's about to tell.
Okay, I just want to quickly say, be careful, ladies, because sometimes you like somebody and you don't even realize it. Because I'll say that night when he was dancing with that girl, I was feeling some type of way, but
She
I
knew
didn't
what she
know,
wanted.
and I think I liked
She
him.
knew then, yeah. She knew what it was.
So anyway,
Ain't even speak to her yet.
So then I'm sorry. So after that night, that is when I saw him in the library, swerved him when he tried to hug me, and then we get to the infamous party where we actually finally started talking. Go ahead.
All right, so just a little keynote there. She ain't swerved me. She didn't see me when I went to hug her. I wasn't begging for a hug, saying, where my hug at. I wasn't doing that. Okay. I went to hug her. She ain't seen me. It was what it was, and then she went and re-hugged me. So okay. Anyway, let's move on. So then we end up at another turn up or whatever, back at Neek's thing or whatever. How we usually do. So, well, I say how we usually do. Y'all who know us know how we usually did it that night.
Neek was having a little turn up at her apartment in Thurgood, and that was typical.
Yeah, that's what we did every weekend, every other weekend, or if we decided to skip class, it might have even been a day thing. We played Black Ops, but this night, Black Ops 2, but this night it was just a regular, turn up joint. So linked up or whatever. I walk in, me and my man Sean. We had a thing. We would go around campus, and we did what we had to do. So this night was not going to be any different. So we pull up in there, scope out everything, see what's going on, what decisions needed to be made or whatever. I saw her, and
I was looking cute.
She was looking cute. So that night, I had a decision to make that night. I was like, hey, if I do choose to, talk to her, pursue her, mess with her, whatever it was going to be, it was going to be a relationship. I knew that then.
I didn't know that. But
yeah, she ain't know, but I did. So I gave Sean an eye because he's, since I stumbled upon the situation, he was like, you get first choice. He is Batman. He was Batman Oz Nightwing. So, I went ahead and picked her, whatever. So we was talking and everything like that, just playing the little, flirty games and stuff like that. I had waves at the time. I'm not going to take my head off because I wanted to be shining under these lights. I am now in the bald phase. Well,
he's bald head, beard gang, which we love.
But I'm bald by choice, by the way. I just wanted to say that.
Okay.
I'm bald by choice. So anyway, I had waves at the time. Them joints was, I had them seasick. If y'all who knew me back then, y'all knew what it was. I'd pull up a picture, but then I'm gonna just get sad looking at it. Anyway.
Maybe we'll add a picture if we can.
Yeah. Future selves add a picture here, what it looked like. Anyway, so I was sitting there, she was in my lap, she was playing with the waves and everything. That's how I had them, back in the day. And then Neek, again, shout out to Neek, decided to pull her up off my lap. Yeah, no shade. We love you. I promise.
She was trying to have my back.
She got her up off my lap and then told her to find a seat. Is that what she said? So that blew my night. So as y'all can imagine, that was the night for me. So went home to my door.
Mad she can't say her piece.
She don't need to say it. We'll bring her in a future episode. We'll talk about it. But she got her up off my lap. And then I left because I was like, ain't nothing for me here now at this point. So I dipped, went to the room or whatever. I don't know what she did in the meantime while I was gone. I never asked you that story.
I don't know what I did. I think I was a little sad that he left, but he ended up coming back. So.
Look, I had her already. But so I left, and then I don't know. Well, I know I was what I was doing now, but anyway, I was back out. And then I went past the the apartment, whatever, and then people was like, are you about to come in now or whatever it was? They hadn't know I left, and I thought about it, and that was the moment that hit me. I was like, if I go back in, what's going to happen? Like, are we gonna go in? It's gonna pursue a relationship? Then all the dominoes and whoop 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 whoop.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Can I add a side note?
Sure.
You're about to say something cute, but I just want to say because you know how he left. and was out doing his thing. Actually, when you left, I had another side thing come over, and I stepped out for a second. So continue.
Play the Future song. Whatever it can be. Anything he says is valid at this point.
Okay.
Anyway, we ain't gonna talk about that. Anyway, so I was thinking, I was like, you know, what's gonna happen if I go back? You know how they say before when you die, your life flashes before your eyes or whatever it is. What could potentially happen and how things were gonna go, like, kind of went in my head, and I was like, I just got out of a long-term relationship, and then which became a situationship, which then became other bullshit. But
We all have those.
yeah, we'll get into that in a different episode. This is episode 1, so I can go that deep with it. So I was like, you know what? I want to go in. I want to see what happens. It's like, you know, fuck it. We're going to take the journey. We're going to see what happens. So went in, and, you know, people acted like I was gone forever. I had to say, everybody was like, yeah, you know, whatever. And then we went right back to where he was. I was back in the seat. She was on my lap. Sean was in his chair. You know, Kat was in hers, whatever it was. Just got back to talking and everything like that. I'm gonna skip a few details because we don't need to tell everybody everything
really,
that
that was
happened.
the start of it all, honestly.
Yeah.
To wrap it up, that night, Nick kicked everybody out. And then it was finals time, so we ended up spending the night at the library. Like, literally.
Yeah, the
just
library
spending the
was
night
the library was open 24/7 during our finals, midterms, or whatever.
Yeah, we literally just spent the night. And,
Just slept in there. Nothing crazy happened. No worries.
That next morning, it was my friend Cam and I. We all left the library. We said goodbye, and then it just so happened that I spent the night at Cam's. Or no, I'm sorry, I spent the summer at Cam's. That summer, and he lived up the street. So,
and then
bada bing.
Yeah, and
now
then
we're here.
that's where he's at. Made it official in May.
Yep.
And it was the 25th. No. Or did I mess it up and it was the 26th? I meant to make it the 25th. No, remember, we made it up. Point is,
Anywho.
that's where it was. And then, dated, you know, whatever, stayed together, graduated.
And you might say, because technically we've been together, like we said, 10 years. We've been married for 2. So we dated a while, you know, but I think it's just because we started so young. We had to really find ourselves together and apart. And we had to grow mentally and mature and be better together. So now we're here, 2 dogs.
2 dogs.
No kids yet.
No, not yet. Working
But
on
they're
it.
coming.
Yeah, we'll see what happens working on it. And that's
good. So
life is good. You know what I mean? This is Snooks and Snookums story.
And by the way, if you want to know who's who,
I'm
Snooks.
She's Snooks. I had to make it a little manly because I'm already out here talking about Snooks and Snookums. So we had to make it
Snookums, so
whoa.
that didn't make sense.
But I wouldn't be calling you Snookums. I'd be calling you Snooks.
Anywho, I call him Snook. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I call him
exactly.
Snooks, he calls me Snooks. Okay? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so now that you kind of know a little bit about us and what we want to do with the podcast, what we're talking about today is probably a major topic.
Oh, yeah.
But,
I got to bring up the comments. Yeah,
we're going to talk
second.
about, is it happy life, happy wife, or is it happy wife, happy life, or is it happy spouse, happy house? Okay.
Yeah.
And before we get into it, we did post this question on our Instagram. So we want to just talk, give a little bit of what we got back. You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go first. If you guys already don't follow us, go ahead, follow us. Me at OVOX Omar, and then her at
Skylar Simone.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and put the little tag down here. Y'all can follow us or whatever it is. We do have the page for this podcast, which is Snooks and Snookums.
Mm-hmm.
So
Snooks and Snookums.
letter N, Snooks, yes,
put
sir.
that on it.
All right, so we got a few responses from people. I was pleasantly surprised by some of these because, well, all of them actually. I definitely thought y'all was gonna go a different route.
Me too, honestly. So we're gonna talk about that.
I'm so proud of you guys.
We're gonna talk about that.
All right, let's see here. Who do you want to talk? I mean, mainly. So first things up, we got my man Sterling Cadeau, by the way, because I do know a couple of them. Z Fighter 26. He said, "Happy spouse, happy house. It's not all about the wife. The husband need to be happy too."
This facts.
I appreciated that. Then we got our other man, so her friend, her birthday twin, J Lovin, Jeanette.
Hey, twin.
She started off playing. I thought she was about to say it's happy wife, happy life. I was about to blow her up, but she fixed it. She said she loved the happy spouse, happy house. I mean, that's pretty much what everybody was really talking about. My Uncle Sean, Rubber Band Man 95. He said, "Happy spouse, both people matter in the
Now
marriage."
you reading-
I gotta say it. We gotta tell them what the Instagram name is. Go ahead, follow me. How y'all
That
do
is
this for no
so
reason?
funny.
I mean, hey, her fellow Aries said, "Happy spouse, happy house." So it's not an Aries thing. It just must be you who be tweaking. But we'll get to her joint.
First of all.
And then we got Sean. This is the Sean from the College Stories.
What'd he say?
Young Chase. He said, "Teamwork make the dream work."
Okay, Sean.
So
Okay.
we all good. We all good.
All right, I got similar. I'll read just a few. So I got happy spouse, happy house. I feel guilty if hubby felt pressure to overly please 24/7. This is a good point, and I'm going to talk about this because this is something that I think I do to my snooker.
I mentioned something today, so
that
we're
was
gonna
a
talk
good
about
point.
it.
It was a very good point. My girl Levon. So we're reading like I'm not reading your Instagram names, but thank you.
I mean, I'm trying to get them
Fine.
followers, so fine. That's your fault.
So Levon said, "Happy spouse because marriage shouldn't focus on one person," which is so true. Your cousin Naya said, "Happy spouse, happy
Naya.
house." My twin answered me too, of course. Happy spouse, happy house. I guess that part.
Y'all liars.
That part.
I know what y'all wanted to say.
And then I am Christy B. Happy house. Happy spouse, happy house for sure. When my love is in a mood, it sets a tone too. So both people need to be happy, basically. Yeah. So those are some good answers, and I agree.
No, she doesn't. She's lying.
No, I agree.
She's lying.
Trust me.
Go ahead. Tell them what your real opinion was at first.
All right. Y'all look. Okay, listen, y'all. Bear with me, okay? Because your girl has been doing a lot of self-work. So I'll say that. Okay, so, honestly, I believe in happy spouse, happy house. I truly do, because I think Omar needs to be happy. I want him to have friends that make him happy. I want him to be living his best life, doing the things that make him happy. However, I definitely have used happy wife, happy life.
Sure have.
And I remember...
used and abused it. Keep it a buck.
I remember
Real Talk
years
Podcast.
Ago,
Keep it a buck. He was abusing
years
it.
ago, we
A
were
week
at my
ago.
church, and we were talking to this older couple, and I was like, "What's the secret?" You remember that day? I was like, "What's the secret to staying together so long?" And if you ask a lot of the older people, I've heard this a lot. They'll always say, "I listened to my wife. I didn't fight with my wife," and that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not happy spouse, happy house, but I kind of took that as happy wife, happy life in a way that's more like oh my gosh, what am I trying to say?
I don't know.
Hold on. Let me get my words together.
Figure it out.
Pour into your wife. So I took that as you pour into your wife. You try not to fight with your wife, and then she pours into you. And that's kind of what I meant by it, pour into each other. But really, the man is, quote unquote, supposed to lead the household. And you have to pour into your wife. You have to pour into her so that she can be great in the relationship and life, and just in general. So that's kind of where I took that. But as I've done more self-work, I've noticed that I'll be honest, we're talking real talk. I have definitely expected a lot of Omar. I require a lot, which is a good thing. However, sometimes I don't leave room for the things he might need, and that is not fair. And so I will stand on happy spouse, happy house. Maybe you don't see it all the time.
I mean, shit. Yeah.
But
I ain't see it this week, guys. I ain't see it
That's
this week.
not true. So, like, for example, the other day we were talking and we got in a little tiff. That's what we'll call it.
Yeah, we call them
And
tiffies.
one of the things
We
he
was
said
beefing.
to me, yeah, and I can't remember why now, but one of the things he said to me was, I feel like I have to care and like apologize when you're feeling a certain type of way, but I don't feel like I can then say how I feel. And that really hurt me because I want him to be able to say how he feels because we're two people in a relationship. So clearly we still have work to do, which is just a part of relationships. It's hard. And we talk about it in therapy too. Our therapist, Marlene, shout out to Marlene. I love her. She's definitely helped our communication. And she always says, like, sometimes he'll need to pour more into me. Sometimes I'll need to pour more into him. Like it'll be different. It's not always going to be equal. Yeah. And that is facts. Over this last year, I've needed a lot just in general. I've gone through a lot emotionally. So, I've needed him a lot and I have to return the favor and be there for him and kind of make space for what he needs.
Yeah, I think, while it's Again, you already know what y'all can, if y'all don't know by now, it's for me, it's happy spouse, happy house.
But really, it's happy wife, happy life.
Happy
right?
spouse, happy. See,
'Cause you
look,
want me to be happy.
look, she back at it. Look, didn't she
I'm
just say
joking.
she agrees with it? No, this is what I'm talking about. Back at
really
it again. No, but for me, it's happy spouse, happy house because I mean, it's not just about one person. Now, it also, I won't say also, but I guess it kind of, for me, it depends on the type of person you are. So why I do believe it's happy spouse, happy house. Again, while this whole podcast, the whole thing, reason we're here, it's about relationships, with the various type of relationships, with all of the relationships I've been in with, my wife, girlfriends, friends, family, coworkers. I've tended not to put myself first because I was like, all right, here's how I feel about a situation, and how do I go from I'm in the beer straight. I'm good.
You got a hair.
I'm
Go
good.
ahead.
I'm on. I've tended not to put myself first because I feel like I can handle more than other people might be able to. So I was like, I can, I die on a sword or whatever. I can, I can deal with this or whatever. I'll take the L if some other people can be happy, someone else can be happy. So a lot of the situations that I've been in, I was like, I mean, I know I'm gonna be all right. Not trying to be like some man in Big Brother or whatever. But I was like, I can get over this. So let me just do what I need to do to make the situation better. So, as she said, we'll be upset, we'll be beefing or, whatever it is. And I'm like, we could be going at it. But then at the end of the day, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get over this. I know she needs to be poured into, her cup filled more than I do at this point or at various points. And so I'll just be like, all right, let me just handle this and deal with this and then shove my feelings to the side. That doesn't necessarily create resentment, but while I say that the next time we beef, it'll probably be a little bit intense and I'm gonna factor that in or whatever. Like, all right, hey, I took this L this time, but I'm factoring that last time into this time. I ain't dealing with it again. And that could lead us into, bringing up stuff that doesn't really like matter. So in an example, we could be beefing about, I don't know, the dogs, let's just say. And as I'm talking about the dogs, I was like, hey, you ain't even do the dishes. Ain't no dishes in the sink. But I'm talking about what happened like 4 days ago. And she's like, what are you even talking about? And then I'll feel invalidated. And while technically I am invalidated, the dishes have nothing to do with what's going on right now. But I just let things build up and build up. So I think it's important to, while it's important to compromise and to pour in your other person's, cup and everything like that, I think it's important to be honest about how you feel about things. Don't keep it in just because you don't want to start drama. That'd be my biggest thing. Don't want to start issues or whatever, or want the situation just to be done. Say how you feel, because you can end up building resentment and that can come out in some crazy ways. So
Yeah, and here's the thing. So I think that the key to happy spouse, happy house is communication, because like he said, a lot of people or a lot of couples, and I notice it now more than ever since we've been in therapy, couples therapy, and we actively work on these things. A lot of couples do the cycle that we still work on.
Yeah.
And this is the cycle, right? So I'm upset.
Yeah.
He doesn't validate it. Then he brings up why he's upset. Then I don't validate it. Then we go back and forth. When really it needs to be, he's upset, I validate it. I can still say how I feel after I validate him. Vice versa. I'm upset. He has to first validate me. Then he can tell me how he feels. So I think communication literally it's the biggest thing, because a lot of us do it wrong, or not wrong, but we do it in a way that isn't conducive to like a happy life.
At the end of the day, just, when you're in these situations, when you guys are beefing with whoever it is, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your wife, your husband, your friends, your family, and you got to express how you feel about things, just say it, do your best in trying to express it about, how you feel. Don't just straight off say, no, and start spazzing and everything like that. Even though you might be upset, trying to find a way to have a conducive, if that's the right word, conversation, so that you're expressing how you feel, so that they understand you, and so that they can, hopefully validate how you feel, and then you guys can come up with a solution together. Yeah. That's really been one thing we've really been, trying to work on. And again, we were really still working on it, because we do be beefing. It happens.
It's patterns and behaviors. Like, we're breaking patterns that we used to have, or that we still have, to have better communication and to both be happy. The other thing I want to point out, Omar had said earlier how, he often will just care more about others and be like, I'm good. And that's something I feel like he's had to work on, right? Because I've always said how I felt and he hasn't. And so although part of it is me leaving space for him, he also has to take the space. So that I feel like that's something you've been working on. Like we've been in couples counseling. I've been in intensive like self therapy. And then he's been doing like therapy sessions here and there. And so I think it takes, in order to have the happy spouse, happy house, it takes both people working on themselves and then coming together and working on the relationship together. Yeah. So that's another thing to note, because it's more than just saying happy spouse, happy house. It's like, are you doing the work? Like you have to do the work. So I found this article.
Okay.
Let's see, where's the article from? Look, I can't see over my
Oh my God.
Phys.org. Google.
You didn't do good in school when you had to cite your sources, huh? You just, I got it
I
from
know
Google.
you're not talking.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold
I
y'all.
know.
They said I had to use at least three
not cite
sources.
his
I ain't
stuff.
cite anything.
He would get a C or a D just because he
All
didn't
right,
want
you're
to cite
citing it. I would get the B
Anywho,
instead of the A
Can
for
I
not
talk about-
citing
Can
it.
I talk about my article?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I had A papers.
I Googled happy wife, happy life, or is it happy spouse, happy house? And this is what Google told me. So phys.org, they did a study on it. And basically it's saying that happy wife, happy life is outdated now. Like more people and more couples are going more towards happy spouse, happy house,
Right.
which makes sense. Yeah. And then one of the things that it says is when one partner is having a particularly bad day, that lingers in the relationship. On the flip side of that, when one partner is feeling particularly good about the relationship, both partners reap the benefits of that. We see the same pattern over long periods of time from 1 year to the next. So relationship satisfaction forecasts future satisfaction. And then the other part of this that I think is important is many couples wait too long to seek help for their relationships or the issues in their relationships, but people know when they're experiencing more negativity than positivity, so they have the potential to try to shift things, and that is so true.
Yeah.
This goes exactly to what we were saying. We saw that we were having communication issues. We want both of us to be happy. We did what we had to do. We went to therapy. There's no taboo around therapy. If it's not for you, it's not for you, but for us, it's really helped. We started working and actively working on the communication issues, trying to understand each other and trying to really care about the needs of the other person. So
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, definitely. It's not happy for us. I mean, at least I think most of you, hopefully. I'm sorry. You can think how you want to think. It's not happy wife, happy life, even though, of course, we
and
want.
I joke, but no, it really
Of
isn't.
course, we want our wives to be happy, but it's really happy spouse, happy house. You both need to be happy. You know, you both need to communicate, say how you're feeling, tell them what you need and what you need to, change. You know, if you're, fellas, if your wife says, hey, I need you to start or stop doing A, B, or C, guess what? You guys are a partnership.
Go ahead, preach to yourself.
Stop like You can ask her to change X, Y, and Z. It does not just need to be, and then women also vice versa. It does not just to be need. It just does not need to be you changing something. The both of you can change. You know what I'm saying? And fix things and work on and get what you guys need to do. Again, in therapy, we've worked through things and figured out, how we needed to communicate better, and how we needed to change some of what we were doing. As she said, some people wait too long to do it. There are some people out there who may like, I'm not doing therapy, or we can figure out we don't need to go. I'm not against therapy, but
That's a whole nother topic.
We'll talk about that another episode. I'm not against therapy at all. It's just I feel like I know what some of our core issues are, but and how we can go about dealing with things. But again, the therapy has helped. So maybe that might be a step you guys might want to take, even if you're just dating. I think when we were dating, probably this was year 5.
Yeah, I used to say I wanted to go to therapy to help our communication.
Yeah, I think year 5 we went to therapy, did a little bit session and
we
figured it
did.
out.
We did like 2 sessions.
Yeah, we did 2 sessions. I mean, back the insurance wasn't covering it. We had to pay that joint out of pocket. But at the end, just to round it out, do what you guys need to do to make the relationship work. Don't just let things stay off to the wayside, end up building resentment, and you may end up going outside of your marriage or relationship to get what you need. And I mean, that's never good. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with your friends, your family, your coworkers. If it's something different that you need in that relationship, say something, communicate it. That's something, speaking to that fact, that's something an issue that I had. I never really, said a lot about how I felt or said things slightly. And it could be an issue with that, with friends, family, work, and whatever. And, like she said earlier on, past couple years, I've been working on trying to get better at saying how I feel about things. And, it's okay to have a feeling and want things to change. It's okay to say that. So that's really the main takeaway. Communicate, compromise, figure it out.
That's episode 1.
Episode 1. We did it. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you.
We out of here. Again, follow us on Instagram. We'll be on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever that app is.
All platforms.
We'll be there. And then, we'll
right.
catch you on the next one.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.